Donald Trump and Paul Ryan have been vocal supporters of the idea of building a Foxconn plant in the state of Wisconsin in order to bolster jobs and really get the state economy going. It's gonna be a great success, or it won't, because recently nonpartisan budget analysts at the Capitol said that this is not going to be the case. In fact, they're not even going to break even. The plant will cost $10 billion and have 13,000 employees. So Wisconsin will not break even on this investment that they're making until 2043 at the earliest. And if only 10% of the 13,000 workers come from out of state, that will push that back 2 more years to 2045 at the earliest projection. Now, these projections are speculative because it's hard to know where the market will be, where Foxconn's standing will be in the future or even the very near future. But it does look like, according to this analysis, that it will not be as profitable as the governor and the president and the speaker have.
So part of the reason why it might not be as profitable as it's being portrayed by those on the right is because this multinational corporation is getting, a ton of tax benefits. They're getting about $3 billion in taxpayer money just to open this plant in Wisconsin. And so it's just, we're gonna pay you with our taxpayer money to come and build jobs in our state, which sounds like, okay, well, if that's what it takes to build companies in these states and create more jobs, awesome. Except when you do an analysis, you find out, okay, well, taxpayers aren't even gonna break even until 2045 possibly. And so there are people living in Wisconsin right now that are looking at these numbers and they're questioning whether or not this is even a good idea, especially because it's not just the financial component of it. There are also some concessions that lawmakers in Wisconsin have made in regard to environmental regulations. So they wouldn't have to take out the same permits that other factories or other companies have had to take out in the past. So I think that it's important to do an analysis. I think it's also important to bring jobs into the country, but we got to do it a smart way. And if we set this precedent where we pay these massive corporations to bring jobs here, well, then every corporation is going to want the same thing.
Well, it's also a Taiwanese corporation. It's not an American corporation. You may also remember Foxconn and the controversies they've had in the past with their factory workers. So we do have a chart on Wisconsin's payments to Foxconn in order to make this happen. It'll only be $2 million in the upcoming future, but then it'll balloon by several hundreds of millions after that. After seeing the numbers, Representative David Crowley said, "There's no way I can currently support this. I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel when you talk about what we're giving Foxconn. This is a lot of money that technically my grandkids might be paying toward."
So now let me give more context. There is nothing that says that the plant can't leave. So they can take all of the tax advantages and then go, see you, wouldn't want to be you. And why do you, to Anna's point about the environmental regulation, why do you need to make exceptions for polluting the rivers for Foxconn unless they're planning to pollute the rivers? So that's worrisome.
And real quick, I do want to jump in on that because we did an original story on that, or we did the original story on that, and then I looked into the wording of the actual proposal, and it essentially indicates that they wouldn't have to take the permits that other corporations have to take out when it comes to disposing like mud, dredge into these rivers. However, the big issue, in my opinion, is the fact that they'll also be able to connect man-made bodies of water to natural bodies of water without getting a permit. And so there's a reason why those regulations are in place, and the fact that they're going to be able to do this without getting the necessary permits is what concerns me.
David Sirota did a really good piece on that, both for IB Times and on TYT Politics. You should check that out. And then, but like the overall idea is the one that bothers me the most. Companies win first and foremost. So they get the exemptions on the regulations on their drudge and all that. They get giant tax breaks. Yes, they hire some people, but those people, we don't get the benefits of that all the way till 2043, 2045, at least the tax benefits of it. So it's not just Republican 101, which it most certainly is, but it's elite 101, which is make sure you take care of corporations first and then hope that it trickles down to you. And so when people look at this and go, well, I'm not sure that it's the right idea to just trust corporations. You see what I'm saying? Like, so we make this deal where they get all the goodies first, and then, but they're corporation, they have no loyalty to America or even to Taiwan or anything else. All they want is to maximize profits. So the minute that that deal turns disadvantageous to them, well, I already got your money, and they're gonna go.
Exactly. So basically, the state of Wisconsin will have to continue paying them in taxpayer money year after year just to keep that factory there. And now some residents in the state are realizing, maybe that's not such a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, these projections are only based on if they follow it exactly.
Yeah.
And even then, that's 25 years. That's ridiculous. And then it's just like, well, this is best case scenario. It won't be, or it wouldn't be the scenario that actually would pander out probably.
Oh yeah, that's a great point by Kim, which is this is if things work out.
Best case scenario, yeah.
Imagine if things don't work out. And so look, we all want jobs. I also don't want a race to the bottom where every state says, oh yeah, Foxconn, I'll give you a $4 billion tax break, and then you don't have to, it won't pay out for Mississippi until 2065. So there's gotta be a smart way to keep jobs and to add jobs without giving huge tax giveaways to these folks. And remember, look, what do Republicans always complain about? That's my money, that's my money. Well, they're taking your money and give it to this giant foreign corporation in the hopes that they stick around long enough for those jobs to be meaningful. I'm not sure that's a good bargain. Watch the Young Turks commercial free, download it or stream it, watch it any way you like at tytnetwork.com/join.